Call to action. So we've been kind of doing a series, and I get to pull it in the driveway. So it's been a journey of actually this is the fifth service along the process. And we've heard some cool stuff really about hearing the call, the kind of the awakening, listening, hearing that when it comes, those moments. And Patrick was really cool, did a great job. Shared some stuff, which was really cool. So if you haven't heard that, definitely go back and watch that. And then we learned about going to school. And then we learned about disciplining ourselves to that path, whatever that chosen thing is. So today is action. So I'm going to simplify it in 3 words. Learn, no. Listen, prepare, do. That's all we're doing. We're listening, we're preparing, and we're doing. And today's the do part. Right? So actions. What? A month ago, 2 months ago, when she told me I was going to do this, I said, oh, this is easy. I'm all about action all the time. And I thought it was going to be simple and easy. And the thing is, I can come up here and say, take action. That's the simple, easy part. Take action. But what is that? What is that? What does action do? What does action do? Why don't we take it? So it became a little more, a little different than what I thought it was going to be as I worked through it. So today I am taking action. So go with me. I can soar like an eagle as long as I believe, right? So we definitely fly like an eagle. Yep. So, but today's the do, is the action part. So metaphysical Christianity, we use action a lot. We use it in the basis of metaphysics, and in Christianity, action is a base principle that is used throughout everything. Action is a base principle of science, of humanity, of everything. If you look at what it takes for us to be here together, it's all action. But what I really want to kind of look at to start off with is like Jesus. You take Jesus, and I kind of have this, is Jesus taught with parables but inspired with actions. And it's more than inspiration with actions. Actions allow us to take that learning and that call and hook it into the journey. So we can get the calling, we can go through the school, and yes, there is some action in that. But that action is that way to hook it into the journey. So if you look at Jesus would heal somebody and say, either during the healing or after the healing, give them something to do. During the healing, wash your eyes. You have to wash your eyes. You don't think Jesus could go, you can see. But he gave them the action to allow them to hook that experience, that healing, in order to move forward. And it's not the end, it's not over, but it allows us to take that preparation and start a journey with that action. It's that first thing. And then it does 2 things. Number one, it allows us to start, and it opens for the greater. Action is a base foundational thing of creation. So in order for us to start a journey that we want to continue on to, we have to take action. You can learn all you want, and it'll stop there. And it won't become creation. It'll become knowledge and background and everything else that you can create elsewhere without it. But it takes action to hook that process, to start that journey. That's my point. Do you guys get it? All right. Even on a grander scale, so say you take Jesus and he says, wash your eyes and you will be healed. That's an action. You also take Jesus, who would always teach and heal. It was always a combination. It was always teach and do something, teach and do something, teach and do something. And the other thing is too, you look at Jesus' life and you look at the greater picture of what Jesus was trying to create. Jesus was trying to create humanity that would look up instead of look down, a space where divinity could become human. So you look at the death, burial, resurrection, you look at the actions of Jesus. It is humanity expressing divine. He is hooking in that journey. He's not just talking about it. Imagine if Jesus just talked about it. Do you think we'd be talking about him right now? Maybe not. Maybe, but probably not. Because that action is that energy that hooks the journey, hooks that beginning, right? So another thing, this real easy one, for me, I think is a good example. I don't know. Wasn't sure if I was going to tell these stories, but here we go. A few years ago, I kind of had at work had just become the just go get paid, pay the bills, blah, 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 not being fulfilled and not really having jobs that were long term and available for my growth. They were very much, you have a job, you can work here forever if you'd like, but you will be doing this forever. So I really wasn't happy with it. And so I went through a couple things. I ended up quitting. And then as I'm looking for a job, my whole thing, and there's a lot of action steps in there, but this one really sticks out. I'm looking through the internet looking for a job, and there's a marketing job. And I am never done marketing. I'm not qualified, some would say. I don't have the educational base for that. But it was an opening, and it said, we'll take, I sent in my resume, and I started researching the company, and it was very much a lot of bad things about the company, not what they produced, but how they hired and what they actually did, because the banner, the big flashy toy was, come be a marketer and make all this money, and we'll take anybody. So I remember talking to my mom, and I said, you know what? I don't feel great that this is where I'm going to go, but I'm going to go to the interview because I want a job. So I want a job. I don't think I'm going to ever work for this company, but I'm going to go to the interview. And that is just the base, that action. I need the journey and find a new job. I'm going to hook this. I'm going to start with this action, and I'm going to go. So I went to the interview, and of course, it's in this kind of like an office space, and there's a bunch of 25-year-old dudes, and they're all dressed up, and they got their putters out. And it looks like a scene from Boiler Room, if you guys seen that movie. The young stockbrokers partying, doing whatever they want, and that's what I walk into. And then I go into the interview to sit down, and there's a desk with nothing on it, with no computer. No, the guy didn't have a pen or a piece of paper. And he's dressed to the nines, looks sharp, good-looking guy. And it was to sell AT&T door-to-door. So it was a interesting approach to hiring people to sell AT&T door to door. They marketed it as a marketing job. They interview you. They bring you through this gauntlet of cool stuff, shiny toys that young men like, and then they sit you down at a desk that's never been worked at. And then they try to, and that's not the point. The point is, I went pretty much knowing it didn't feel right. It felt scammy, but I went to take the action, to start the journey, to hook into that belief that I'm going to find a new job. And I didn't end up going, but I was going to sell blinds. I was saying yes to all interviews. I'm glad I don't sell blinds. I don't sell blinds right now. But in true metaphysical InnerQuest fashion, you can tell what happened later. It didn't take maybe 2 months, maybe a month. I mean, it was quick. Boom, 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 action step, just to take an action step without the cost counted, without the expectation of what the end looks like. I took those action steps. And then, of course, a month later, I hired a company I'm still with 7 years later that I love, that I'm totally fulfilled at, that I love. Honestly, I love going into work. A place that feeds me, that my eyes weren't open to when I started, but I took that journey. And a lot of things are like that. And action is that important. That's the point. Action is that important. We think, and then we don't do. So Jesus did the same thing when they do. You guys have heard where the disciples, it's not too far in front of him leaving and crossing over. He sends the disciples out 2 by 2 to teach and heal. And it's great. It's an action step. It's very elementary thing. But what he does is he says, don't take food, don't take money. And we traditionally say this is faith. Have faith, you will be supplied, you will be supported. But in those action steps, when we say we're going through a job interview, we will try to create the how and the end. And by Jesus telling his disciples not to take food, don't take money, the how is not important. The how is not what's going to get you there. And the end product is not going to be what you think it is. So release your expectations of the journey. Release your expectations. You don't know if you're going to need food or not. Don't go into the journey saddled down with all the stuff you think you know based on past experiences. Because if you live based on past experiences with the old food and the old thought and the old expectations, what are you going to create? The same thing you've always created, right? So it's that being able to take that action step, go to the job interview that's you really not vibing with you for the job, but go because you need to go to allow that journey to start. We roll into this idea, like we look at children and we say, kids are cool. You ask them what they want to be when they grow up or what they want to do or what they want to get paid to do, whatever. A professional baseball player, scientist, dentist. They have these dreams and these goals in life that aren't filled with expectations of how to get there. They're just willing to take the step. And we get to a point sometimes in life where we become unwilling to take the step because we think we know how we need to get there, and we're worried that we won't be a pro day one. I can't do this. How can I make money doing this? Stop doing that. If it feeds you and it's something that calls you, money should be the very last thing. You should pay money to support that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not, but we get to a point where sometimes it's like we grow up and we hit 18 and we still have the majority of our time left on this world, and we stop dreaming and we all think we know the cost of every journey, and it stops us from taking the journey. Because we count the cost, those expectations, before we even set foot on step one. And then so we hold back on the journey. What happens when we hold back on the journey? If it's something that we're truly called to do that's going to feed us, we take this river of life that's supposed to be a nice little flow, and we stick our hands out, start packing mud everywhere. And we dam it up, whether through fear, whether all doubt, I can't do it, or I'm not in a situation, I just got to pay for 3 kids, so I can't start a crafting hobby on Saturday morning. I mean, it's that simple. It is that simple. I can't feed myself the food from spirit through my actions because I'm afraid. That's a dam. We're damming this up. And what happens when dams? When rivers get big, they overflow, they flood. That dam's eventually going to break. Most people in our society and culture will call that rock bottom. But it's you're stopping the flow of being fed and spiritual growth. And then that flow, that disruption is eroding everything. It starts leaking into your relationships. It starts leaking into your job experience. It starts leaking into your road rage threshold. I'm serious. I think you can tell a lot about a person based on how they drive. Let that one sink in. If you don't need me to ride with you, it's okay. But we're taking that soul need, that spiritual need, that yearning to feed ourselves, and we're damming it up because we're afraid to take that first action step. Does that make sense? For whatever reason, we've already counted the cost and it's too high, even though we don't even know the cost. We think we know the cost. We're afraid of looking goofy in front of somebody. We're afraid of standing up and saying things that we believe that may not be accepted by the rest of the world. Do you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, and each person is different, but that dam's eventually going to erode away. That river is eventually going to expand and start. All of that disruption is going to creep into the rest of what's going on. Maybe it's, hey, I need to clean my bathroom every Friday because it just makes me feel good. And then for whatever reason, I'm not doing it. Then Fridays become the worst days of the week because the rest of the house is crazy. Because that disruption, that flow isn't allowed to happen that feeding isn't allowed to happen. So we're just going to start leaching out into everything else. And then we call it rock bottom. People could look around and go, my life is crazy. Everything's crazy. I don't like it. Step out of the river, man. Let it start flowing again. Let yourself be fed through these things. And the only way to do that is action. You got to start taking that action, whether it's goofy or not. I came here one time. I was in a point a really long time ago, obviously not that long ago, but a point where I did not feel happy. My life setup was no longer supporting my happiness, right? And I had been damming the river for 2 years, a year and a half, waking up most mornings not cool, not happy really to go to work, not happy about the leisure time activities, just kind of ignoring the fact that I'm ready to move on from some of this life foundational experiences. And so I came in here one time and Cheryl looked at me. I got counseling from Cheryl and she looks at me and goes, "What do you like to do? What makes you happy?" I said, "Well, I like to watch movies." She goes, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, nobody go with me though." She goes, "I don't care." She goes, "This sounds great. This is your homework. Go watch a movie by yourself." So I remember the movie. I remember it wasn't my favorite movie. I was really excited about it and it disappointed me. But I remember it's a big thing, a simple thing of going to the movie, watching yourself. There's a big thing for me because it was that action that could hook my journey, hook my start to that journey. And there's been 1,000 steps after that. Hard, easy, middle ground, whatever. But that going to a movie by myself at 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon was a powerful action step that allows me to experience happiness in different ways and truly be fed and genuinely happy to wake up. Do you know what I'm saying? From going to a movie. That's all I'm asking us to do. Because we laugh. I'm dead serious. We laugh and joke about this, but I'm not going to guarantee because I don't know. But I have a very, very high suspicion that every single one of us sitting in this room has something goofy that we would consider goofy, going to a movie by themselves, that they're afraid of doing. And it may be one of those keys to unlocking that thing that needs to feed you. Do you know what I'm saying? And it is goofy and it is stuff, but it is powerful too. It is powerful too. Seriously, I liked the idea of having this service because I am a huge fan of taking actions that are going to create what you want. I am a huge fan of when I was broke, feeling broke, going and spending $20. That goes against the grain. That's goofy, right? It's $20. Ain't that big a deal. But go to the store and spend that $20 because I don't want to be broke no more. Going to the movie by yourself, taking that left you're supposed to take instead of taking that right that you take every day. I'm a huge fan of that. And I think, seriously, the collection of the small actions we take create the overall of the life. And they lead up to and make the big ones appear out of nowhere. Those big ones go, wow. How did this come? Because you've been taking that simple little action steps all the way through. You didn't stop and sit and dam up the river. You allowed that journey to begin and you've been taking those steps to follow through. So I think another thing we need to look at is I can sit up here and say take actions, and you guys can go to the movies by yourselves, do what you want, whatever you need to do in order to do that. But I think a good practice may be for us to try to create a foundational lifestyle that supports taking action. Create a foundational lifestyle that supports taking action. And I think it would be different for everybody else, but if we have a inner workings of, if our inner workings are in such a place that we cannot take action, we never will take action. So I'm just going to go over 3 things I think that are important to create a foundation of your personality, your spirituality, your beingness in this world to support action taking. Number 1, stop judging other people's actions. Stop it. We love to judge other people's actions. We love it when people step out and they don't do it the way we would do it. We love to tell them or even think to ourselves, good luck. You're doing it wrong. Because this is how I did it, or this is how you need to do it, or this is how the world says that you should do it. We do that a lot. And we're metaphysical enough to understand that, okay, we think that when we judge them, oh man, I caught that thought, I'm limiting them. We're not limiting them. We're taking a cage and dropping it right down over ourselves. If I'm judging someone for taking an action, if I'm judging somebody for playing soccer when they're 40 years old on Saturday, if I'm judging them for that because they're too old, they should be at work, they have responsibilities at home, then they're going to hurt their leg. All these reasons, I'm judging them. And we do it on a lot worse things. The in-law gossip, just take quick revenue of your in-law gossip of how much you do judge somebody's actions, right? If we're doing that, we think we're limiting them. We're not. We're just taking a big old cage and we're saying, I can't do those things because I'm going to judge them for it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to judge myself for it. I'm going to preemptively judge myself for the action I haven't even taken yet. And therefore, I'm not going to take the action. The next one I like a lot is support. Like support somebody that's taking an action. You know, somebody's moving because they need to change scenery or whatever. They're finding themselves or whatever that may be. Go support them. Go help them move. You know, with the intention of creating a foundation that allows you to take action. You know, somebody's moving their house or whatever it may be. Buy them lunch, buy them dinner. Actually do something to support them. Set your judgment aside. You got to do that first before you can actually support somebody. All right. I don't know what you're doing. I don't see the end. I'm going to not judge you. I'll help you. Don't sprint off your path to go save everybody or change everybody or do everything. But if it is yours to do, it's within your path to support somebody, do it. Because when you turn around and take action, do you not want to be supported? Do you not want to have the confidence of knowing, all right, I've been asked to do this. I know I can do it because nobody's going to judge me for it, and I'm going to be supported. I may not know how because I had to leave my food and water at home, and I may not know what the end product's going to be, but I know I won't be judged, and I know I will be supported because that's what I have given forth. And then the last thing, I think the most important one, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop being a kid. Don't think about being a pro at something or getting paid for it or the end product. Kids don't say, I'm going to be a baseball player, but I know it's going to be a tough road. And I know I'm going to have to go to baseball camp. It's going to cost my parents $5,000 a year. Kids don't say that. They say, I'm going to be a baseball player. And they go out and they play baseball. And they play baseball and they play baseball. And if it no longer serves them anymore, they stop playing baseball. But baseball was never the point. All the things that fed them through baseball was the point. So don't stop dreaming. I've known of rumors floating around. People come here and they learn things, Reiki, and become Reiki masters and all this stuff. And they have this desire to use it, but it's always a conversation of how do I get paid? How do I use this and create a job so I can quit mine? Quit your job. Heal. Those may or may not come together. Don't make the spiritual food have to be the bill payer. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a very common thing we do. We take this, oh, I want to do this, but we're programmed and wired that we can only do one thing, and it has to be our job. It has to be the way we make money. No, it does not. If you hate your job and you want to be a healer, start healing and find another job. Doesn't have to be the same thing. If it's meant to be, and if it is going to be something that you're going to do, it'll find its way. When you make those action steps consistently, may merge together. But if we look at the top and we look at how can we make this a profession, we're not going to take the action steps we need to take, because we're going to count the cost first. We're going to count the cost, say it's too much. People are going to judge me. I'm not going to be able to support my kids. Blah, blah, blah. Because we've judged somebody else for doing it. So don't stop dreaming. Don't stop dreaming, man. If you want to be a professional golfer, Bob, if you want to be a professional golfer, dang it, start playing golf. You know what I'm saying? Start playing golf and just keep playing golf, man. And if you need to stop playing golf and it takes you a different direction, stop playing golf and take you different directions. Because it's the food and the value of the experience of the journey through the actions that are going to feed us. I was talking with my mom earlier, Cindy Fuller, my mom. She is very seasoned as far as experience of interactions between people and coming into this world and crossing out of this world. And she shared with me, people don't leave and say and have regrets over things they did. Oh, I screwed up and wrecked a car one time. They have regrets over things they did not do. The action steps they did not take because they were damming the river. If you want to play the piano, if you want to be a healer, if you want to be a dog walker, if you want to do anything, do it. You don't have to jump off the edge of the ship. Just feed it with action steps, and they will create something that is going to be valuable to you because you are following it. You are allowing that journey to exponentially grow. And if you allow that journey to grow without the expectations of how to do it and what the end product's going to be, without the judgment, being supported, and always living on that dream, it will be so much bigger than you can expect. And it will turn into one movie by yourself into a life-changing moment. Right? Let's go then. Just close your eyes, put your feet on the floor. God, we ask the column of your white light fill us. I want you to envision that white light filling your body, creating connection with your divinity, with your higher self, and with God. And in this space, I want to look at 3 stones, whatever they come up as, but 3 foundational stones. First one, judgment. Your foundational stone of your action. You can choose. I want you to decorate it with whatever you would like to be its basis. Non-judgment, flowers, whatever. Just mentally and from your heart, decorate that stone to support your ability to take action. If you need to erase some of your past judgments off of it too, go ahead and do that. And then we want to look at the next stone. However it comes to you, your stone of support. And decorate that stone to whatever you come. And then I want to go to the last stone of dreams. Your stone of dreams, however you envision it, from your heart with the divinity of God, decorate your dream stone. And in front of these three stones, we ask you, God, we ask that your love flow through us and charge this foundation so that we may have a bedrock of support to take action. And so that our lives can be supported by our ability to journey. We ask you to charge these stones with your love, to erase judgment, to continually support, to allow us to stay open to the unknown and the uncounted. And here we stand with our hands up, ready to be counted, ready to take a step in whatever needs to feed us. And we're grateful for this opportunity to see with our eyes open the power of action. And then we'll step away from our stone knowing that it's protected. It's there, it's forever changed, and we can always come back and change it as we choose. Back in your chair. We ask that connection with divinity sustain us and stay with us for the rest of the day. So it is. You can gently open your eyes. Y'all ready to go? Jazzed up? Well, I appreciate the time you guys give me to come up here and take actions, because it is everything I've said is a process through this body, through this brain, through this heart. And I'm on the journey with you. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Thanks.